Yes, yes, yes. Padded Room Radio is back on the air, you motherfuckers. My name is Darian. I am back with another week of horror bullshit coming straight to your ear holes. It's another solo show, inmates. It's just me again. Sorry about that. I know you miss him. You miss Jason. You miss Buddy. I miss him too. Buddy's working, and Jason, I understand, is very sick. So, I mean, in more ways than we're used to, him being sick, I think, is the operative term. I heard he's got the COVID, dude. Is anybody still worried about that? I'm not. I'm not worried about COVID. Tell him to come over anyway. Give it to me and my family. We don't care. He, on the other hand, is trying to be civic-minded and stay home and self-quarantine. Or at least that's what he's telling me. It could be something completely different. He could be having a massive rager over there right now, and he just didn't have the nerve to tell me that I wasn't invited, so he invented this whole COVID thing. I wonder where the rest of my friends are tonight. They're probably over there getting hammered with him, having a great time, having sex with each other and stuff. I'm over here doing a show. You know what? Fuck them. Fuck them anyway. I'd rather be with you guys. Be honest with you. Over there getting drunk, not having COVID. For all I know, I don't know what they're up to. Maybe next week, maybe not. I don't know. I got my special guest posse coming back later in the show. I hope you're ready for that, because we're going to talk a little Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Also, quick announcement. I don't know if anybody's noticed or not, but we've launched a little bit of a bonus thing over on the Patreon page. I put a little simple sample out to tantalize you. Me and the kids are going through the Underworld series. I'm calling it Underworld Rise of the Deacons, because that kind of makes sense in a fun way. Or maybe it's just corny. I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, it's I dropped the first episode on you. The rest are going to be over at the Patreon feed. $1 a month gets you access to that shit. You're going to love it. They're already trying to figure out which franchise they want to walk through next. I'm thinking maybe Resident Evil, but we just did that like 2 years ago. And to be honest with you, I do not want to do it again. So, it would be good, I think, Paranormal Activity. How about that shit? Or is that too intense for them? I don't know. They just watched a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so if they can make it through that, I don't think they'll have a problem with Paranormal Activity. Anyway, enough about that. We got a regular horror show to get into here, inmates. We got horror news, listener mail, all the usual razzmatazz. Let's kick things off with a little horror news.
Horror news.
Yeah, buddy. Looks like trailers are already up for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I did not watch the trailers, but it looks good. I'm psyched for it. Can't wait for it to come out. I loved Afterlife. Did you guys like Afterlife? I don't know that I want to see the originals come back again. The Venkman, Stance, and Zeddemore. I'm interested. This one looks like it takes place in New York City, so I'm interested where we're headed here. I think, just a little cameo there. Let's not get too involved. Those guys are older than shit. I'm sorry. But it is true. They're very old. Either way, I'm going to check it out. I'm psyched for it now. I loved Afterlife. I'm curious to see where we're going. It looks like something they've froze New York somehow. I don't know. I hope they bring back Vigo the Carpathian, because I always thought that dude was pretty fucking cool with his giant shoulder pads. Could have done with a bit, something else besides the page boy haircut. That's a little silly. But that Carpathian body armor, that is a mean customer right there, boys. What else we got here? Looks like Netflix okay, so they're teasing this, but they've been teasing it for like 3 years now. They're talking about a standalone Fear Street movie. Fear Street, now that I think about it, might be a good franchise to walk the kids through. A lot of gay stuff going on there, though. I don't know if we need that in our lives. But Fear Street, a pretty good little trilogy there. If it's a standalone, I don't know what we're going to do. Does that mean it's not going to take place on that shady side and the bright side or whatever, the two sides of the town, whatever it was? I should rewatch those. They were I thought they were pretty good myself. I'll check it. I'll check it out. I like the Fear Street trilogy. I don't think it ever got a physical release, though, did it? I know a guy that he does pretty good work with like the packaging and he's an Etsy guy, and that's pretty much what he does is he just rips off streaming video and then puts them on Blu-rays and then sells them to me for like $10. But he does a really good job of making them look professional. That's how I got American Horror Story 1984 and American Horror Story double feature on Blu-ray. I got my guy over there, and he's going to do New York as soon as, I don't know, I should probably email him or something, see what he's doing. I have a question for you dudes, and I want you to answer me honestly as you can. Are we as horror fans getting dumber? Don't answer. Now that I think about it, I already know the answer. And in case we forgot that we're getting dumber, Full Moon is releasing a movie entitled, and I quote, Bad CGI Gator next month. So that's the name of the movie, Bad CGI Gator. Inmates, I'm going to ask you to stand with me on this and not go to see Bad CGI Gator or stream it, or just don't even look at it. Pretend it doesn't exist. Now, you know me. I'm not a big fan of the quote-unquote elevated horror. I don't like watching some shit that has to be explained to me 45 minutes after it's over. But at the same time, don't insult my intelligence, dudes. Bad CGI Gator. You're wasting my fucking time at this point. Why don't you just call it Tits in a Swamp? At least then I know what I'm getting into, and I'll make sure to watch it when the kids are asleep or something. But Bad CGI Gator. All right, whatever, Full Moon. Is anybody, really, other than Puppet Master 207, is anybody still watching anything that Full Moon does anymore? I'm not. I'm not watching anything by Trauma either. Now I'm feeling negative about this whole thing. What else we got here? Evil Dead 2 is getting a limited edition VHS release from Vice Press. I'm into that, man. I like it. I'm not going to get it because I don't have a VCR, and even if I did, I wouldn't ever watch it because I own it on Blu-ray, and it's a much sharper, cleaner image. And to be honest with you, I'm not much one for nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. You got your Jason Harrells out there, love VHS, constantly trying to find new VCRs and thrift stores and all kinds of fun shit like that. If at the point that you're invested to the level that he is, it's not so much it's almost like a full-time job, dude. You know, you gotta find the VCR. You gotta find one that works. You gotta tune it up once you get it, because older than shit, I'm sure. So you gotta clean all the dust and the crud out of there, and then you gotta dick around with the tracking. Why bother, dude? I feel the same way about vinyl. You know what I'm saying? You put the record on, you put the needle on the record, you get a bunch of static, And then you got to play Find My Favorite Song for 20 minutes trying to figure out which song you like. Dude, why? We did not come to the year of our Lord 2023 to be greeted with all of the fun gadgets, streaming service, high-speed internet, and all the other shit that we have these days just to go back to watch a grainy-ass horror movie that we all know and love. I don't get it, man. If you're into it, go get it. I'm not a VHS guy. I was up until, well, the VHS purge of 2008 when my wife said I had to get rid of all my VHS tapes. But by then, it was getting so hard to find a VCR that worked anyway. It was like, okay, I get it. But now I kind of lament it because some of those that I had, I can't find on Blu-ray, and that's really starting to piss me off. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, Vice Press, VHS, Evil Dead 2. I would hope they would do Evil Dead 1 and maybe Army of Darkness just to go with it, because why do the sequel and not the original or the follow-up? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know. Lastly, On the Otter Side is what it's called. It's a tabletop RPG role-playing game inspired by Neil Gaiman. It's already on Kickstarter if you're interested. I'm going to have to get on this and help kickstart this one. I've given up on role-playing games, I'll be honest with you. And most of the goddamn board games I have, because the fucking rule books to these things are the size of Maxim magazines. But this one I think I'm going to have to get on. I was just kind of cruising through the images. Dude, the artwork on this is bananas. So I think I'm going to have to get on this one. Who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line I'll find a band of like-minded doofuses that are willing to play board games with me. I know what you're saying. You're saying to yourself, Darian, you already have a band of doofuses that play board games with you. Yeah, I know. But the problem is that I don't want to put the effort into figuring out how to play these board games. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, when I get this role-playing game, I'm not going to have the stamina to figure that fucking thing out. Role-playing games are even worse than board games, bros. Tabletop Dungeons and Dragons, Jesus Christ, Vampire the Masquerade, Shadowrun, for Christ's sakes. What is that on? It's 95th edition at this point. All kinds of rule books, source books, maps, fucking shit you gotta buy. Miniature? You want to? Oh, fuck, don't get me started on the miniatures. I'll take you right back to Warhammer 40,000 land, where many a paycheck of mine has gone out the window and into the ether, never to be seen again. And what do I have to show for it? A bunch of fucking army men that my kids play with until they smash into 50,000 pieces. All right, enough about me. That's all I got on the horror news. How about a little listener mail here, amigos?
Listener mail.
Yes, sir. Let's see what we got this week. No emails this week, but we do have a voicemail or two. Why don't we kick things off in beautiful downtown Anderson, Indiana? Here comes Coop Newcomb.
Good evening, guys.
What's up, Coop?
Wanted to grab get my 3 on the meat hook
Sure.
out there. I believe it was the favorite horror villains.
Yeah, what do you think, man?
If I remember, I could
You
be
are
wrong.
correct. No, you're right.
So if I'm wrong, and I'm just going to throw 3 my favorite horror villains out there for no damn reason. The guys I like are the ones that torment the protagonist. So I really like, I love Pinhead.
That's my guy.
That would be like my number 1.
Yeah, me too.
Number 2, probably Jigsaw.
Oh, yeah.
And, God, number 3, I don't know, you guys recently talked about him. I forgot about this dude until...
Rawhead Rex.
So you really talked about him here recently. He came up in the Terror Dome was Horace Pinker.
Oh, yeah.
So those are my 3.
Okay.
I'll at you guys later.
I'm into that. So Pinhead I get. He's my number 1 guy, too. And the reason I always go straight to him is because he will actually, he kind of sells you on the idea. You know what I mean? He's like the used car salesman of horror villains. Hey, I'm going to kill you, but why don't you come on with me? Let's get this. Come on, we can have some fun with it before you die. Come on, we're going to go check out this labyrinth. It's going to be great. You take like a Michael Myers or a Jason Voorhees. Let's face it, they're basically the same dude. They're going to kill you, sure, but it's going to be over. Michael Myers is going to stab you in the chest and pin you to the wall in your hallway, but you're going to be dead, and then that's that. Or he's just going to stab you in the back of the head. You won't even know he was behind you, you know? Same thing with Jason Voorhees. He'll shoot you with a spear gun while you're swimming, or he'll stab you with an arrow from underneath the bed right after you just got lucky, and then you're done. And then that's it. And most of those people didn't even know they were getting killed or being watched by those guys. So, like, if I had to pick a horror villain to get killed by, probably one of those two. But Pinhead will make like a whole afternoon out of fucking around with you, and that's going to be terrible. Thing about Jigsaw, you brought up Jigsaw there, Cooper. He always gives you an out. You know, it's not going to be a pleasant one. You want to get out of this? You want to live through this fun little game I set up? You gotta dig the key out from behind your eyeball. It's going to suck, but you could do it. You could walk right out of here. All you got to do is dig that fucking key out. You know? You want to not have your head explode in a reverse bear trap? Okay, not a problem. You just got to dive through this pit of disgusting hypodermic needles. God damn it. That one, even just talking about that one gives me the heebie-jeebies. For that, I kind of feel like he's almost an anti-villain in a weird way. Because, you know, ultimately his goal is to help redeem you and make you realize the quality of your life and why it's a precious thing and why you should not be a fucking asshole. But if you would rather not dig the key out of your eye socket, then go ahead. Sit there and have that thing spin around and crank your neck all the way around and spin you, you know, like a fucking water balloon or something. That's what I say, dude. Horace Pinker, he's more of a bully, I think. I mean, he'll kill you eventually, but he's going to, like, insult your mother while he's doing it, which is a real shitty thing to do, man. And on top of that, he's like the family killer. So he'll kill you, your husband, your wife, your kids, your dog, kill them all, and then he goes back to the lucrative business of television repair, which is, you know, it's enough to finance a torture museum, apparently. Right on, Coop. Thanks for calling in, amigo. Who else we got here? I believe it is... Fuck. Hold on. It is somebody that I know. It's our main man in Alabama. Alan's in the house. What's up, Alan?
Hey, everyone. What's up? Hope everybody's doing good.
I think we're okay. I'm okay.
Really enjoyed the segment with the kids last week.
Oh, they're coming
Enjoying
back.
the Rise of the Deacons.
That's coming back, too.
Terror Dome, give me Sammy Kerr.
Okay. Figured that.
Meat Hooks, Horror Villains.
Yeah.
I'm going to go number one, Leatherface.
Yeah.
Does that could really happen?
Yeah.
That's something about Leatherface. The Texas Chainsaw sticks with me.
Okay.
Number two, he's new, but I'm just digging his work. He's so friggin' mean, he's not funny.
Okay.
Art the Clown.
Art the Clown.
Number three, I'm going to go Michael Myers.
Okay.
Mr. Darian, are you Dr. Sleep?
You bet I am. Alan gets it. Alan gets it every time.
Immersion Therapy, yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, my all-time favorite horror movie.
I get that.
What can you say about me in that movie? You can smell. That's all I got. Y'all have a good one. Bye. Oh, I forgot Terror Dome, Sammy Kerr.
Yeah, you
have
got
a good one. Bye.
Beautiful. Thanks for calling in, Alan. You're a gentleman and a scholar, amigo. You already knew that, though. I'm going to lock you in for Sammy Kerr and the Terror Dome. I'm going to get the kids up here to talk a little Texas Chainsaw in a few minutes. Art the Clown. He is rapidly becoming part of, you know, he's basically becoming our next franchise guy, right? How many? I think he's been in 4 movies so far total. All Hallows Eve. He was not actually in All Hallows Eve 2. Then you have Terrifier, Terrifier 2, Terrifier 3 isn't out yet, but I think they're still making it. But there was another movie that predated All Hallows Eve that he was in. I forget what the fuck it was called. It was like a weird student film. And I don't know where you find it. I think it might be on the bonus features of All Hallows Eve. It's like just a little 10, 15-minute thing where he just kind of pops up and runs around for a minute. But, yeah, that's, the fucking brutality of that motherfucker. And on top of that, I don't think we fully understand just what the hell art is, other than just being a weird demonic clown individual. So there's a lot of like fan theories running around about how, he was just a fucking serial killer. And then when Lux Luvana, whatever the fuck her name is, cast him down to hell at the end of Terrifier 2, when he came back, then he was like a full-on demon or something like that. I don't know. It's never fully stated, but it's out there somewhere if anybody wants to do the research. I suspect we might get some answers in this upcoming Terrifier 3. But do you want answers? Do you want to know more about art? I don't think I do. I think I kind of like him just being this bizarro psycho clown and not really. Dude, you want to kill that franchise quick? Make him sympathetic somehow. Make him like he was a victim of a clown, a mass shooting at a circus or some shit like that. Okay. Yeah, no, we're done. We're done after that. All right, that's all we got on the listener mail. Thank you very much, Cooper and Alan. You guys are amazing. You already knew that. I guess it's time for me to go visit Elvira, right?
In the house that screamed, the venomous seed of tormented desire grows to a nightmare of unspeakable horror.
I must run this establishment with a firm hand. Everything seems very strange, madame. 5 girls have disappeared in less than 4 months. We've never heard from any of these girls again.
5 have died. Who will be the 6th? The House That Screamed, rated GP.
What the hell does GP mean? I don't know. I mean, I know RGP, sure, but how do you rate a movie GP? Is it GP approved? I hope so. I don't know if you like this one or not. It is The House That Screamed, inmates. It's from 1970. It stars Lily Palmer, Christina Galbo, and John Mulder Brown. Written and directed by Narciso Ibanez Serrador. Got 6.8 stars on IMDb, which is remarkably high for Elvira's Movie Macabre. Speaking of which, it originally aired on Elvira's Movie Macabre October 10th, 1981. Motherfuckers. This one is old. By Elvira standards. Elvira. What can I tell you about this one? We are in I think we're like in the 1800s, late 18, early 1900s. We're in a French all-girls boarding school. And by French, I have to assume that we are somewhere actually in rural France, despite the lack of French accents. Although the girls do refer to themselves as Mademoiselle all the time. So, there is some attempt at authenticity, which is very cool. Our story picks up with a young lady who is being brought to the school for the first time. We're going to meet her. Her name is Therese, or Therese, they call her. I don't know if that's French. I think it's French. I don't know. Anyway, she gets dropped off. Apparently, she's from a very well-to-do family because her butler actually drops her off. And she is going to be attending school here at the French school of finer young ladies or whatever. It doesn't have a name, so there's that. She gets her and her butler get the grand tour. Eventually, they decide to go ahead and enroll Therese here at the French School for Girls. Now, this is a full 2-hour movie. Actually, I think it's like an hour and 50 minutes. A good hour, the first hour of this is just nothing but schoolgirl drama and a lot of shit talking. You know, she's the new girl. She gets bullied a little bit. That's it. And then not until after the hour mark does the killing start. So if you're thinking about watching this, and I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, I'm just saying that but just get comfy and don't expect to get too scared at all. I feel like they started making a movie and then they fucked around with it, and then like round about the third or fourth week of shooting, they're like, shit, we were supposed to make a horror movie, not a movie about girls bullying and taking showers together. And we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, Therese gets the big tour. They decide to enroll her. The girls sleep in like a girls' dormitory / squad bay kind of a situation. There's like a big room and there's like 14 beds all lined up, and all the girls sleep like in this big squad bay style room. So good for them. When Therese gets there, she's easily the richest girl there. So she just pops her suitcases open and all the girls start trying on her clothes. What a bunch of grabby bitches, man. You know, I didn't bring hey, that's my shit. Stay the fuck out of it. But she also brought a lot of lingerie, which is weird for an all-girls school in the 1800s. I mean, maybe she's planning on getting her freak on. Maybe she was thinking that there'd be some dudes here also, in which case that would check out. But I don't know. She just has like a lot of clothes, and she's just giving the shit away to the girls, so she's becoming pretty popular. While that's going on, we resume classes the next day. And one of the girls decides that she's going to like do her nails instead of like actually pay attention in class. So she gets reprimanded and sent to an isolation chamber where the headmistress comes and gives her like lashes with a whip. And that's pretty gnarly. And like before they do that, like this girl, her name is Katerina, she's like the bad bitch of the school. So she is fucking like very confrontational with everybody, especially the teachers and the administrative staff there. So she's looking for the whip. You know, I think she kind of liked it actually, which is, well, that's interesting. Anyway, she takes the lashes and then she has to like convalesce in this isolated room for a while. Very cool. While that's going on, Therese is kind of settling in. She's learning the lay of the land, like who to talk to, who to hang with, what's going on with this chick and her friends and what's going on. Just getting, settled in. She gets left for, like bed making duty, which I guess is a thing. There's no laundry. We find out from, the chick that she gets left with that there's like a dude that comes by once a month to deliver firewood to the all-girls school. Now, it's stated up front that the ladies in attendance at the all-girls school range, pay attention now, from the age 15 to 21, 21 being the oldest. Okay? You with me on this so far? Now, the guy that brings the firewood, he like brings it up. So they have like a little firewood shed off to the side of the building. He goes and stacks it all in there for him. And here's the interesting part. One of the girls has to meet him down there to like let him in, and sometimes she'll help him move the firewood around. The girls draw locks to see who is going to go meet him down there. And in case you haven't figured it out, inmates, whoever gets to go meet the firewood guy, they fuck the firewood guy. So the firewood guy is quietly being pimped out to the girls at the boarding school who are wildly underage. Now, I'm not one to cast aspersions on our neighbors across the pond, the French, or Narciso Ibanez for his writing abilities, but I don't know who the victim I don't know who the victim is in this this little equation, because the firewood guy, I feel like he's like, does he want to have sex with underage girls, or is he just there to do a job and get the fuck out of here? Somehow he got roped into the sex part, and now every time he goes to deliver the firewood, he's got to bang one of these chicks. By the way, there's a scene, dude, that takes place here in a few minutes. Anyway, that's what Therese finds out from her bed-making cohort. The bed, I think her name was Catherine. It's she's all excited because it's her turn to go meet the firewood delivery guy, and she's gonna fuck him in the fire shed. So she is like she's ready to go. I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but damn, girl, take it easy, will ya? And by the way, who knows how old the firewood guy is? We get to see this dude later. He looks like he could be, I don't know, maybe mid-30s, mid to late 30s, something. It's neither here nor there. Anyway, interesting situation. From there, we, while she's still making the bed with Catherine fills her in on the headmistress's son, who also lives on the premises, but is kept away from the girls for the most part. Now, his name is Louis, and he actually has a girlfriend there that attends the school that his mom doesn't know about. Her name is Isabel. So Louis and Isabel periodically sneak off to this boiler room area and basically make out. They're like 14, and for all intents and purposes, this relationship seems fairly innocent and mundane. Really, they just go in there and tell each other how hot they think they are, and then one or both of them gets nervous, and then they leave. And that's been going on for months, apparently. So get it together, Louis. You're gonna have to show up with some condoms or something. I don't know. Okay, very cool. So that's what's happening. Everybody's going through the lessons and writing. They have a sewing workshop that they have to do. They also have music and dance that they have to do. They've got a full day worth of girl studies that they have to. It's a very busy situation for these chicks. So the next day rolls around. This part is weird. Okay. Well, actually, that night rolls around, and Isabel is getting ready to go to bed. She pulls her covers back, and she sees that Louis has left her a love letter and has attached the keys to the front gate. And there's a note that says, "Hey, meet me out in the garden after lights out. Let's continue our makeout session in the garden, I guess." So she's all excited. She hides the keys real quick. Cut to the garden after lights out. Isabel does a escape from Alcatraz move, takes the keys, gets down there, goes out in the garden, and son of a bitch, we cut to slasher mode, and somebody in a very ridiculous kill scene basically stabs Isabel to death and removes her body. Shit! Well, now we got a problem, because we know that there's a killer on the premises. So we cut to the next day. Isabel's gone. Everybody's freaking out. What happened to Isabel? Headmistress is accusing people of things. She has the handyman come and nail all the first floor windows shut, which I think is a fire hazard. I don't know if that's the best idea to do that, but that's what she has him do. Good for her. She just kind of writes off the disappearance of Isabel as, she just ran away because she's sick of me, pushing her around and stuff, which is a fair assumption, I'd say, but I don't know. I think it's never stated, but I think it's kind of alluded to that the headmistress knew what was going on between Louis and Isabel. So right off the bat, I think we're supposed to suspect the headmistress of being the murderer, which is a real possibility. It could be. We get some weird scenes between Louis and his mom, too. At one point, Louis is all distraught because Isabel left. He doesn't know what happened to her either. So he's like, "Oh, how come you don't let me be around any of the girls, Mom?" And she's like, "These girls are trash. You need a woman more like your mom." And while she's having this conversation with him, mind you, Louis at the time is probably 14. She is got her arms, like her hands around the back of his neck, and she's like, it's a very incestuous situation. It's not like they have sex or anything, but it's definitely could be headed to that neighborhood with Lewis and his mom. It is wild, and it is a little uncomfortable by today's standards. All right, anyway, Lewis is all worried about Isabel. Isabel's gone. We know that she's dead because we saw her get stabbed, but the headmistress is just telling everybody that she ran away. Anybody is caught running around after lights out, they're going to be punished, blah, blah, blah. Very exciting, a little nervous. A couple weeks go by. Lewis is a horny guy. And he has discovered some weird like heating and steam ducts that go into the ladies' shower area. Good for him. It's time for the girls to take their weekly shower, but they do it wearing bed sheets, which is a very strange and, to be honest with you, highly erotic situation. And I may have unlocked a new kink watching these young ladies take showers in bed sheets. Yeah, I don't know, man. They have wrapped themselves up in like bed sheets and they go take a shower with the bed sheet on, like soap themselves over the bed sheets and wash their hair, and then they cycle in and out. While Lewis is in the air conditioning duct watching them, but somehow he gets like stuck in there and the steam is coming in and he's like, shit. He doesn't want to like scream for help or anything because his mom is downstairs with the ladies in the shower, and if he gets busted, dude, he will wish that he had stayed in the heating duct or whatever it is. So he does the right thing. He keeps a level head, waits till all the chicks leave the shower except for Teresa, and then he starts screaming for help, and then Teresa gets him out of there, and that starts the new love relationship, love affair between Lewis and Teresa. So they're now hot and bothered, and they're now meeting in that weird janitor closet and telling each other how hot they are. Very exciting. Very exciting stuff there, Lewis. That doesn't seem like a good gig to me, though. I don't think I'd want to live in an all-girls boarding school. It sounds very horny, like you're going to happen upon some lesbian situations, but I don't think you will. I think you'll just realize that, these chicks are gross and they pick their noses, and, I'd be willing to bet that there's going to be a lot of tampons flying around there. Especially at that age range. Oh, God, forget it. All right. So that's great. We got kind of like a happy situationship there with Lewis and Teresa. Everything's going pretty cool. Unfortunately, there's Katerina, who is like the bad bitch of the crew, and she is she is just defiant against the administration. But then we have another bad bitch. Her name's Irene, and she is the headmistress's lapdog. She like dimes everybody out whenever they do anything wrong, and she gets the headmistress involved, and she gets like special privileges and all that shit. Irene goes up to Teresa one day and she's like, "Hey, I know, and so does the headmistress. We both know that you're fucking around with Lewis in that janitor's closet, you nasty skank. I want to see you after class." So Teresa's like, shit, we're busted. So for some reason, Irene has Teresa meet her in the attic, and she tells her the headmistress is going to be there. So Teresa's like, shit, I got to go sort this out. Goes up to the attic and basically just gets bullied for about 5-10 minutes. But Irene's got like some henchmen, skanks that like do, follow her around and do her bidding and get special privileges also. So they get Teresa up there and they strip her down. You don't really get to see much, but then they make her wear like fucking burlesque clothes or something, like cabaret stuff, and then they like start making her sing because they found out that Teresa's mom is a famous singer. So they're making her sing, and Teresa's crying, and they're like, "You fucking sing, come on, you fucker, sing better, you can sing better than that." And Teresa's crying, she's like feeling bullied and stuff, so she's like, "I don't want to do it, leave me alone." Eventually the dinner bell rings and they have to let Teresa go, which they do. And Teresa is like, "You know what, dude? No, I'm out of here. This is horse shit. I didn't sign up for this. I'm going to go find my rich and famous mom, and you ladies can go fuck yourselves, so fuck right off. So that night, Teresa plans her big escape, and she goes and tells Lewis first, because they have like this, on again, off again love situation. So she's like, hey man, I'm going to get up out of here. I'll think about you. So there's that. And Lewis is like, okay, well, I'll see you around. I've got to go. You got to go. Smashes his piggy bank and gives her the 14 cents in there. What a swell dude Lewis is, huh? He's trying to help her out. So she takes the 14 cents and she's like, okay, I'm gonna bust up out of here. She starts like feeling her way after lights out. Everybody's asleep. She starts feeling her way through the hallways in the dark. And she accidentally hits like the doorbell, but she stops it before anybody wakes up. And it's a pretty intense scene right here because things are getting creepy. And Irene like wakes up as Teresa's leaving the girls' dormitory, and she's like, "Ooh, where's she going? I'm gonna get her in some serious trouble now." So she starts following her around. She sees Teresa go out through one of the dining room windows, and she starts following her out to the garden. But she loses her in the garden. And then Teresa goes back inside and basically gets stabbed in the neck because she knows somebody was following her through the garden, so she's like, fuck this shit. Going back inside where I'm kind of safe. Goes in there. So you don't see who kills her, but somebody stabs her in the neck. Now, this was a bit of a thing because Teresa has pretty much been our protagonist to this point. So I didn't see her getting killed, but it happened. Kind of caught me off guard. Okay, so Teresa's now out of the equation, and that's 2 girlfriends that Lewis has lost since the start of the movie. Cut to the next morning, Irene goes and sees the headmistress. She's like, hey, Teresa's gone. And she's like, yeah, I know, the fucking bitch. She ran away. And then Irene's like, no, dude. She escaped through the dining room window. I followed her. Then she went out to the garden, and there was somebody else following her besides me. She got wise to whoever that was, came back inside, and I'm pretty sure I saw her get stabbed in the neck, too. So she's probably looking at that, and she's like, the headmistress is like, no. There's no body, there's no blood, everything's cool. She just ran away. Maybe we'll get a letter in a couple weeks saying she went back to her parents, or maybe we'll reach out to her parents later. I don't know. You don't worry about it. And Irene's like, no. I know what I fucking saw. People are getting hurt, and I'm not down with this. So that now we have a little adversarial conflict between the headmistress and Irene, who was her number 1 lackey. Eventually, Irene turns in her keys, and she's like, no, lady, no. I'm not going to help you cover this up. I know what I saw. This is creepy as shit. I don't want to be your lackey anymore, so I'll just do my time. And I would like to leave here because I don't feel safe, so fuck that also. And the headmistress is like, well, you ain't leaving, bitch. So give me your keys, get your ass back to class, and fuck right off. So then we get a cool, like, little subtext of Irene quietly leading, like, a snarky rebellion amongst the other girls, where, like, the headmistress comes in and tries to pull the hard-ass routine on him, and Irene just stares the headmistress down, and then the headmistress gets all, hey, easy. And like all the other girls just start staring her down, and then the headmistress gets all freaked out and runs out of the room. So now we're going back and forth between Irene and the headmistress. So, cut to a couple nights later, the headmistress is really all up in her head about this. She's like, oh, fuck. You know what? I gotta get to I can't go on like this. Lights go out, and the headmistress is like, hey, she tells one of her secretaries, she's like, hey, go wake Irene up and tell her to come down here and see me, because we need to come to some kind of accord here. This is not healthy. So the administrator chick goes up to the dormitory, wakes Irene up. She's like, hey, go see the headmistress, and she's in her office. Okay, cool. She's like, fine, I'll do it, but I'm putting my full dress on. Mind you, this is the 1800s, so it was like one of those button-up dresses that goes all the way to the bottom of your chin. I don't understand how that was ever comfortable or attractive to anybody, but whatever. She puts her shoes on and she goes clopping down the stairs. She's like, all right. She gets like that. Mind you, this is a big house, a big school. She goes clopping down the stairs. Somebody is following her down the stairs. The headmistress is in her office waiting for her to show up. Irene gets all freaked out because she thinks she's being followed. So she hangs like a left instead of hanging a right to the headmistress's office. And now there's somebody like running after her, chasing her throughout the house. We get a cool little cat and mouse game. Eventually the headmistress comes out and she's like, hey, where the fuck is Irene? And then she sees some people running around upstairs. So she goes up there. She's like, Irene, get down here. I want to talk to you. This whole cat and mouse thing goes on. It's a very old, dark house. There, like, the headmistress is trying not to wake anybody else up. Irene is trying to stay hidden from whoever is chasing her. Eventually, Irene runs up in the attic, and then the headmistress comes along like 5-10 minutes later, sees the attic, stares her down. She's like, all right, I don't know what the fuck game we're playing here, but I got to get to the bottom of this. So she goes up there, son of a bitch, if she doesn't find Irene's dead body. So whoever was chasing her obviously either was up there waiting for her or caught her or something. I don't know. But she goes up there. She finds Irene's dead body. She's like, oh, shit. Now, Irene is dead, and her hands have been cut off. And I think she was also stabbed in the neck was the official cause of death. So the headmistress is like, oh, fuck, man. I got a dead girl in the attic. Somebody gets murder. I got to call the fucking French police, whatever those guys are called, and this is going to be a scandal. I'm going to have to write a letter to her parents. They're going to be all kinds of pissed off. This is just a big headache I don't fucking need. So she's like, oh, shit. Then somebody walks up behind her and taps her on the shoulder, and it's Louis, her 14-year-old son. Louis, what the hell are you doing here? She's like, oh, come here, mommy. Come here. Come with me. Let me show you something. He's like, no, don't come over here. It's a dead girl. He's like, yeah, I know. Takes her in like a side room in the attic, and this is where we find all the bodies of all the girls he's killed. We've seen him kill 3 girls. His total, though, is like 6 or 7, because there's bodies all over the place. Basically, what this motherfucker has been doing is killing the girls and partsing them out, and that he has now stitched together a Frankenstein-type situation of all the dead girl's favorite parts of his. And he's like, look, mommy, I made her just like you. She's got Isabel's hair that looks kind of like yours. I just took Irene's hands because she's got hands kind of like you. And so now I just need you to teach this dead body how you would treat me. So you make nice. And then he locks his mom in there with this dead body. It's not like a real reanimated corpse. It's just a dead body that's been patchworked together is what it is. So there's that. And that's pretty much the end of your movie. So basically, Louis has been killing his girlfriends, to include Teresa, Isabel, and Irene, who was never his girlfriend, but I guess he had a liking to, and 2 or 3 other chicks down the road before the movie started, and chopping them up and then stitching them together to make this Corpsenstein young lady that does not reanimate, and he has no idea how to reanimate a corpse. So it's just basically a very stinky, decrepit, decaying sex doll is what he made. And now he locked his mom in that chamber so that she can coach up the sex doll on how to treat a 14-year-old Louis, I guess. I realize how this sounds, but that is the fucking movie, okay? Don't judge me. I didn't write it. I'm just telling you what I saw. And not a bad show, to be honest with you. More of a murder mystery. The ending is a bit macabre, so there's that. It was never actually stated that he had sex with this corpse, but I think we can do the math on that. Why, Louis? You've had numerous girlfriends who clearly wanted to have sex with you in that janitor's closet. Why not just go that route? That seems like it makes much more sense to me than killing them and chopping them up. But what the fuck do I know? I don't know. That was The House That Screamed. This one is streaming on Peacock in the series of Elvira's Movie Macabre. Elvira, of course, comes in with her share of dad jokes periodically throughout the movie. Very cool. makes it a little easier to swallow. This is actually not a bad show, all things considered. I did not know who the killer was. I'll be honest with you. I thought for sure it was going to be either Irene or the headmistress, just because they were the two biggest bitch bags in the school, it felt like. So there's that. I spoiled it for you. You already know who the killer is. But it's still not a bad show if you're interested. Check it out. Streaming on Peacock if you're interested, inmates. I'm going to take myself a little break, come back with a meat hook and such.
Is something wrong with you? My girlfriend told me I need some time alone to deal with issues. But something makes me carry on. Stuff I come to understand why I always wanna fly. I do it with the drugs. I do it just to feel alive. You always call me and ask me how I'm making through the day. I'm always falling. I guess it's just God's way of making me pay. Something makes me carry. I do it with the drugs. I do it just to feel alive. Do it for the love that I got from the bottom. Do it with the drugs. I do it just to feel alive. Do it for the love. Do it for the drugs. I do it just to feel alive. Do it for the love that I got from the bottom. Do it for the drugs. Do it just to feel alive. Do it for the love.
Hey inmates, if you like what you hear, head over to the Padded Room Facebook group and support us through the Patreon link with a small monthly donation. Check out the T-Villain link at paddedroom.podbean.com and grab some t-shirts. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
And I'm back, inmates. Ooh, yeah. That's right. Macho Man Randy Savage coming back at you. I don't know why I did that. Right on, dudes. Yeah, Elvira's Movie Macabre. The movies thus far have not been that great, but we're going to get deeper. We're going to go deeper down the rabbit hole of Elvira's Movie Macabre. We're going to learn more, and hopefully we'll find a diamond in the rough here somewhere, or in the muff. Maybe there'll be a diamond in the muff. All right, how about a little meat hook action?
Three on a meat hook.
This week's meat hook in honor of Elvira. Top 3 female characters in horror. Now, I know what you're thinking. You think, Darian, we just did Survivor Girls a couple weeks ago. You're right, we did. But I'm talking about any female character in a horror movie. Your top 3 favorites. My number 3 is going to be an interesting character. She didn't make it all the way through the movie, but she did. She got killed in a very cool way, I would say. I'm talking about Taryn from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. She's the one that produced the 2 switchblades and the wild haircut when she entered the Dreamverse. Remember that? It was like a mohawk thing, but it started on the back of the head and shot around to the front like a shark fin. That was pretty cool. And, yeah, bad bitch. Unfortunately, a bit of a drug addict. And when Freddy zeroed in on that, he knew just how to take her down. And he did just that with syringe fingers, which is pretty gnarly, right? What the fuck what did he shoot her up with, I wonder? It was like a green fluid. I don't want it. That's not a drug that I'll be experimenting with. Whatever it was, might have been Drano or dish soap or something. And then she had like the little sucking mouths going up her arms. Ugh! Get out of here with that. That's gross. That's my number 3. My number 2, a much stronger character, also did not see the end of her movie, unfortunately, but she did kick some major ass. In the time that she was in the movie. I'm talking about Lance Corporal Vasquez from Aliens, played by Jeanette Goldstein, who you'll also remember from Near Dark. She played Diamondback. Not nearly. She made a much better Colonial Marine than she did a vampire, I would say. Tough character. She knew how to fucking work a smart gun, man. Right? That hip-mounted cannon that they had with the eyepiece. Any woman that can rock a smart gun is A-okay in my book. And she had a pretty nice little body on her. We got to see a lot of her running around in a tank top. Yeah. That movie really is much better. Like, it holds up today, I would say. Maybe I could talk the kids into doing the Aliens movies. How many of those are there? Well, you got Aliens, Alien 3, the prison thing, Alien Resurrection with Winona Ryder. Wasn't that good, but it was all right, I guess. And then there's a whole Prometheus thing. I don't know if I want to get into all that, though. I'll see what I can work out with that one. My number 2, Lance Corporal Vasquez. Again, I wouldn't call either of those two, Taryn or Vasquez, Survivor Girls, because neither one of them made it to the end of the movie. So they weren't Survivor Girls. So my number 1 is somebody that you're probably not expecting, or maybe you are. I don't know. It's a very special situation when we see the turning point where the victim becomes the villain. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about Amanda Young from the Saw franchise. She appeared in 1, 2, at least 3 of them, possibly more, off the top of my head. Love Amanda Young. Very sympathetic character to start with. She played the drug. She was the first survivor of one of Jigsaw's games, and then she came back to be a protege. And then she started fucking around, making her own. After John Kramer died, she kind of took control of some of the games, but then it was a whole thing. But the story arc of Amanda Young, going from victim to a survivor, I guess you could call her a survivor girl, right? Because she was in Saw 1, it was more of a backstory type of a situation, but she did survive the reverse bear trap and cut the key out of the dead guy, which takes a set of balls, and it's something that only a survivor girl could do. You know what I'm saying? So I guess in that degree, but moving past it, she became the villain. But then we have to draw the moral line of whether or not John Kramer was a villain or whether or not he was trying to help people. That's a moral gray area I don't want to get into. I suspect that's a fist fight waiting to happen for some people out there. So I'm not going to touch that one. I will say that I like the hero's journey, for lack of a better term, of Amanda Young and where she went. And I understand that she's in Saw 10. I have not seen that one yet, but I look forward to it. I heard good things. That's my three top female characters in horror. Number 1, Amanda Young from Saw. Number 2, Lance Corporal Vasquez from Aliens. Number 3, Taryn from Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Let me know what your top 3 women in horror are. And it could be, whoever, dude. Don't let me limit you. You want to go with Elvira? Go with Elvira. Her movies aren't that great. By Haunted Hills and the other one where she inherits a movie theater. Is that Haunted Hills? She's got a couple of them. They're not that great. They're mostly comedies. Let me know. It could be Elvira if you want. Area code 775-387-0275 is the mental health hotline. Or just go to paddedroompodcast.com, click the meat hook link, click the contact us link if you want to drop an email. Let me know what you think of the show. You got some questions for me? You want to do some things with my pictures like Tony does? Go ahead. I don't care. As long as I get to see them, I'm fine with it. In the meantime, I think it's time for a Pterodome matchup, my friends.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all. This dream come true.
6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Welcome to the Pterodome.
First, last week's winner. Singles competition, we had Sammy Kerr from Trick or Treat versus Albrun from Hagazusa. The quiet house on the corner exploded with sound and light. Heavy guitar riffs reverberated from the ground floor windows before they shattered. Lights flickered and sparks flew as the old woman stumbled onto the front lawn, blood pouring from her ears. With a vote of 6-0, Sammy Kerr advances over Albrun, mainly because I don't think anybody knows who Albrun is or has seen Hagazusa. And if you have, good on you. That's a rough ending. And if you haven't, maybe, you really got to know what you're getting into. I'll leave it at that. Let's take a look at this week's matchup, shall we? We are now in the Inferno Conference, round 9. As usual, inmates, bear with me. I'm not much of a writer, and this one was hard. The hunters had become the hunted. Valak was creating more vampires and using them as pawns and bait to lure Jack out of hiding. What started as a simple sweep and clear for Jack and his crew had become a full-fledged fight for survival. In the ghost town of Del Rey, Jack makes his final stand. He knows that Valak's nest is under the old church, and if Jack and what's left of his hunters can strike in the daylight hours, they can wipe the vampires out in one afternoon. On the doorstep of the church, one of the team makes a mysterious find, a children's pop-up book entitled The Babadook. The shadows inside the church begin to fluctuate and take shape as the team descends into the catacombs. Then the knocking is heard, followed by an eerie Babadook, Dook, Dook. Singles competition, we have Valak the Vampire versus the Babadook. I gotta go with the Vampire on this one. I'm not a big fan of the Babadook. Mind you, he's just a coat and a hat. And that's about, he scares the shit out of a autistic kid and pisses off her mom pretty good. Now, say what you will about elevated horror and what the metaphor is that I'm sure we're all well aware of at this point. I gotta be honest with you guys. Once you've seen it, it's not that good. You watch it a second time and you're like, this kid's fucking annoying. I feel bad for the mom. Really, just fucking get out. You know what I mean? Just shut the fuck up. If everybody would just shut the fuck up, I think we could figure this out. But instead, we're yelling and screaming and causing scenes all over the place. All right, that's your Pterodome matchup for the week. It is Valak, the vampire from Vampires, versus the Babadook. Again, mental health hotline, area code 775-387-0275. Or you get me on the email. Just go to paddedroompodcast.com. Click the Pterodome link. Do it that way, too, if you like. In the meantime, I think it's time for me to tell you what movies I got to watch this week in a little segment called What Are You Looking At?
What are you looking at?
I got a few things in. How about The Haunting of the Queen Mary? This one's not very, well, I'm going to say I'm not mad at it, but it's not very good. For those of you who don't know me very well, I don't have much of a middle ground. I either hate it to the point where I'm offended by it, or it's fine. And I'm going to say that The Haunting of the Queen Mary is fine. It's got some interesting things going on with the flashback sequences. If you want to see a slightly better version of this, watch a movie called Triangle from 2006, I believe, starring Melissa George and her overbite. It's basically the exact same movie. It's just one of them, they're adrift at sea, and the other one, the boat is docked. And that's about all there is to it. So there's some cool things with the special effects, and like I said, some of the flashback sequences are pretty cool. All in all, I would say that it's fine. If it's, I rented it on Amazon Prime. I think I paid $3 for it. Don't spend any money on this one. Wait till it hits a Netflix or something. Someplace you can watch it, without having to kick in the extra $4 or $5. If you got nothing better to do and you're in the mood for ghosts on a boat, then this might be a good one for you. If you can't find Ghost Ship anywhere or Triangle. Yeah, whatever, dude. I watched that, and I also watched Underworld for 2003. This is part of my new side project that I'm launching with my kids, Underworld Rise of the Deacons. Expect a new episode of that coming out next weekend, probably, maybe next Monday, I don't know. It holds up. I think it holds up. Some of the CGI is a little wacky watching it now. But all in all, the story is there. You gotta pick a side on that one. And I think we start off, as I kind of talked about on Rise of the Deacons, we kind of start off rooting for the vampires, but we very quickly realize that they're the problem. So after that, we're on Team Werewolf. It's okay, though, as the franchise goes on, the werewolves will become the problem, and we'll be back on Team Vampire. And somehow, poor Michael Corvin got thrown in the middle of this horse shit and got injected with a bunch of crap and it ends up as this weird black devil thing. So, hope I didn't ruin that for you. We'll be coming back at you next week with Underworld Awakening. So get your pants on for that. Speaking of Underworld and Rising Deacons, it's time for me to go grab my co-hosts.
Immersion therapy.
Yeah, buddy. What did you two guys think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I thought it was pretty good. It had a lot of massacre.
Had a lot of massacre?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you think it was scary?
No.
No, you're not scared of Leatherface?
No.
Me either.
You either? Okay. Well, at this point, probably not, right? You've played him 100,000 times on Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
And we have the board game.
Yeah.
And Daddy's got like 52 shirts with his face on it. So...
But also, that doesn't make really sense, like, if it's like...
What doesn't make sense, babe?
Like, why would they make her hair straight and then curly?
Oh, you're talking about the stuntman thing that we found.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so what Daphne is talking about, there's a scene right before
she jumps out
Sally
the window.
Hardesty jumps out the window and makes her escape. Now, if you watch this scene closely, and I made sure to point this out to my kids here, Sally is bent over the bucket, and Grandpa is hitting her with a hammer. And then she breaks free of Nubbins and goes running across the hallway to the second floor window. And right before she jumps out, the camera cuts to a scene of her leaping through the window. In that instant, you can tell it's a stuntman because her hair is very straight and flowing.
And then it turns to curly.
And it turns to curly right before she hits the window. And then then you see the stuntman hit the ground, and then when she pops her head back up, her hair is straight again.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's just a little movie faux pas that I pointed out to you guys because I've seen that movie so many times.
But why is the grandpa, like, why is he all white and, like...
He's half dead, half not.
I would say he's just very, very, very old. And eating people is not a healthy choice of cuisine.
I would say eating regular food like a human being would be fine.
Eat like a vegetable from time to time. Just not just hitchhikers all the time. No. You know what I mean? So here's a little fun fact for you. It says at the beginning of the movie that it's a true story, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
It's based on a true story. Yeah. Now, you can put that tag on just about anything. Like, a girl got kidnapped somewhere. That inspired me to write a movie about a flying bicycle. That has nothing to do with the girl getting kidnapped, but it was based on the girl getting kidnapped.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
What was the movie based on?
The movie was based on a guy in Wisconsin that used to dig up dead bodies and make fun things out of them.
Really?
Yeah, that part actually did happen, and he actually did kill 2 women. But that was like back in the Huh?
Nothing.
That was like back in the 1960s. That guy's passed away long since.
Yeah, but how did they make him all white?
Are you talking about Grandpa?
Yeah, like how did they make him white in the movie?
They just put paint on.
That's just special effects, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just makeup and different applications.
They probably just put like a dummy, like a test dummy. Like
No, it was a real guy. It was an actor. That played him. I mean, because he does move around.
He was in there for like, we saw him once when Sally went up there in upstairs.
Right.
And then we saw him eating dinner and bash his head.
Yeah, well, sort of attempting to hit her in the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
So the lore behind the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that family that we saw there, they are the Sawyer family.
What does the Sawyer family mean?
So that's their last name. They're the like we're the Brocks, they're the Sawyers. They come from a long line of cattle workers, and basically they're cannibals. They eat people.
Like, never mind.
Yes. There's a movie, a direct sequel to this called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. That one is very silly, and I feel like it's more of a comedy. Drayton Sawyer, who played the cook, Bubba come back, Leatherface. Nubbins was the hitchhiker.
He was the person that went in the car, needed a ride.
Yeah, that took their picture and blew it up in the tinfoil.
He cuts.
Yeah, he cuts his hand. Yeah. He got ran over at the end and killed.
Yeah.
But his dead body shows up in Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Uh-huh.
So there's that.
That does not make any sense.
What part doesn't make sense, Daphne?
Why would they put the end in the middle of the second movie?
What the heck are you talking about?
I think she's trying to say, why would you put a dead body in a movie?
They have a lot of fun with his dead body.
No, we mean
What do you mean?
They do some shucking and jiving with dead nubbins.
What do you
But
mean?
why would Why would you?
They basically use him as an oversized action figure. I know. Like I said, it's more of a comedy. I don't understand it.
But
what's your question, Daph?
But also, why would they put the end of the movie right in the second movie that they're making?
How did you arrive at that conclusion?
She's trying to say that.
Why is Dead Nubbins in the second movie?
Yeah, instead of in the first movie.
Well, he dies at the end of the first movie.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does, you crazy.
For some reason, it doesn't make sense to me.
I think it does, you crazy girl.
She's trying to say that.
Huh.
Why?
Yeah, please translate Daphne's for me, because I don't understand what she's talking about, Deke.
You said Japanese.
Daphne's.
Sounded like she's trying to say, why would you put the end, if I was writing a story.
Okay.
And the end of it, she's trying to say, why would I put the end of it in the middle of my next story?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
So it's funny you bring that up, because that actually happens quite a bit. If we ever get really adventurous and decide to visit the Evil Dead franchise, that's pretty much what happens in Evil Dead 2.
Wow. 2?
Yes.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead 2, and then there's a movie called Trick or Treat, and
it's not Trick or Treat?
It's not Trick or Treat, it's Trick or Treat.
Wow.
Trick or Treat?
Yeah, Trick, the letter R, Treat. And that it can be a very confusing movie, because there's 4 different stories happening, and they all kind of bob and weave in and out of each other. But that's a story for a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
Huh.
Underworld? The 3 vampire empires?
Yes, but much more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Yes. Right on. So all in all, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I think it was a thumbs up.
Thumbs up from Dee Dee?
But it wasn't really scary, but I say it was a thumbs up.
A thumbs up?
But it doesn't really make any sense when she jumps out the window and her hair is curly.
Well, that was just one part, and I already explained it to you.
I know.
If you would just listen to me for 5 seconds, Daphne, maybe you would understand something. And look at you're freaking cute. All right, Deacon. What movie would you like to watch for next week's immersion therapy?
Can we do movie?
So what'll it be there, Dee Dee, for next week?
The Lost Boys.
You want to check out The Lost Boys?
Yeah.
All right, inmates, let me find out where that is streaming. There it is, inmate. Check out The Lost Boys. I know you've seen it, but you might have some commentary on it. It is streaming presently on HBO Max or Prime Video. We will do the same and come back next week to get Deacon and Daphne's thoughts on The Lost Boys. Didn't we already watch this?
Yeah.
This was one of our backyard drive-in screenings.
Yeah.
You just want to watch it again?
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I don't really care.
It's like Texas Chainsaw.
I like the heck out of that movie.
We already seen it, and now we're rewatching it just to watch it.
Just because it's a good show.
Yeah.
We want to watch it again.
It is kind of like it, just not with
scary.
It's more of a kid's movie, but
yeah.
Good. Those are some cool vampires right there, dudes.
Yeah.
Wait, they're vampires?
They got motorcycles.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah.
They're like hanging under train track bridges.
They're under like there's like this tiny island.
Okay, we'll talk about it next
under
week.
a bridge.
Yeah,
and then it's like they're hideout.
You're spoiling the show there.
You're spoiling it.
All right,
Spoil,
join us next week
spoil.
for The Lost Boys. But now it is time to educate me.
Educating Miss Monica.
First, my clues from last week. I have a unique skill set. I had a very traumatic childhood, especially at one place in Colorado, which led me to alcoholism, which led me to all kinds of other issues. But now I'm back on the right track, sober, and trying to help this little girl deal with a bunch of fucking weirdos that are kind of stalking her around. And hopefully me and her can figure this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lure them back into the past where my traumatic events took place, and I'm going to let that place deal with them. I am, of course, Dr. Sleep, as Alan alluded to. Great show. I think the movie is better than the book. I'm in love with the Overlook Hotel. You know what I'm saying? And the idea that it's still standing out there, just boarded up and left to rot, furnishing still in place, full of the ghosts of dead whoever and all that, just creepy out there in the fucking hills. I like that. That's cool. It's much better than for me, it's better than what Stephen King did, which basically he just turned it into a trailer park in the book, but that's neither here nor there. Who might I be, you ask this week? Well, I used to work for a very silly, cheeky, organized crime figure. I quit because I was sick of that, and there wasn't much he could do about it. But then I found out I had a daughter. And now the son of a bitch is poking around, and I'll be damned if he didn't take my daughter to try to get me to go back to work for him. Luckily, number one, I don't really care that much about my daughter, so there's that. Number two, there's really nothing he can do to hurt me, so this is all just really a mild inconvenience for me is what it boils down to. Really weird guys that he's got working for him, too. Who might I be, you ask? Tune in next week, and I will drop some knowledge on you inmates. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining me. I know this is a little bit of a shorter show. Tune in next week for The Devil's Wedding Night here in Elvira Appreciation Month in the Padded Room. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you found this show. That helps our visibility quite a bit. We also have a Patreon campaign running. New Patreon content going up. My kids are up my butt about watching the Underworld movies, so rest assured those are going to come out every goddamn week, whether I feel like watching them or not, and whether or not I feel like recording a show, because they are not going to let me not do that. So there is that. $1 tier. $1 a month will get you access to Underworld Rise of the Deacons. In the meantime, I think that's about it for me this week. So, again, thank you for joining me. For Buddy in Absentia, Jason Harrell in Absentia, haunted hotels, whether they're still standing or not, creeps in Winnebagos that apparently tour the country preying on kids, French girls' boarding schools, and the weird drama that seems to follow them around. Nasty S&M situations with the headmistress and the Padded Room podcast. I'm afraid visiting hours are over.